Yeah, yeah. This is called Long Way to My Home. And this is the part where you start to get into the groove. Okay? Now you tapping your feet yet? Well, are you tapping your feet yet?
Yes.
On that Dawson Highway, down that dusty road, praying for your helping hand to take my heavy load. It's such a long way to my home. This life is a marathon, isn't it? Searching for deliverance, one day at a time. Follow where I hear your voice, walking down the line. It's such a long way to my home. Dangling distractions, pulling me aside. Tiny things are not enough, they never satisfy. And it's such a long way to my home. Here we go. Sometimes I get turned around, stumbling in the night, searching for your northern star, following its light. Gonna be a long way to my home. Long way to my home. Well, Jesus, be my living hope, make my dying bed. Let me hear your still small voice ringing in my head. It's gonna be a long way to my home. That's right. It's gonna be a long way to my home, to my home. Oh my, well, to my home. It's gonna be a long way.
Awesome.
That was rocking.
Oh, thank you guys. Lord willing, one of these days, Crimson Blues will be backing me up and we'll all be doing it together. Alrighty. So.
That wasn't pure blues. That was blues plus something else. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's blues rock, brother. It's blues rock. Because you got to remember what Muddy Waters said. The blues had a baby and they named it rock and roll.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. Now, so this last week, a few days before Christmas, I had an online Facebook Live Christmas concert of mine that I did. Hopefully some of you guys got to catch the replay. In the middle of that concert, a couple of people asked and said, "Hey, Mark, can you please, couldn't you do a couple of songs off the Tiki album?" And I told him, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have those prepared for tonight. But if you come New Year's Eve, I'll get a couple of them prepared and ready. I'll make some backing tracks and do some. So how about I do a couple of tunes from our studio album Tiki?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'll take that as a yes. And oops, wrong one. Back to there. There we go. And make sure it's on play. We're gonna do the open here. This is the opening track of the album. It's called "Where Would This Poor Boy Be?" And a lot of the adversity in this song. Think about 2020 when you hear this. All right, where is it? Oh, here we go. Now it's walking through a snake pit that's snapping at my feet. There's thunder in the distance and there's trouble in the street. People meaning me no good, they're watching out for me. If it wasn't for my Jesus, where would this poor boy be? Slipping out the back door and sneaking by the jail. Whistling through a graveyard with a hellhound on my tail. I need someone to count on, but nobody seems to be. If it wasn't for my Jesus, where would this poor boy be? If it wasn't for my Jesus, where would this poor boy be? If it wasn't for my Jesus, it would be the end of me. Oh, there's Mark Rosales on harmonica. I dig that. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
We got such a good harmonica player. The flood water's rising. I'm not sure that I can float. You gotta help me walk on water. You're gonna help me rock my boat. You're the only rock I know as far as I can see. If I didn't have my Jesus, where would this poor boy be? If it wasn't for my Jesus, where would this poor boy be? If it wasn't for my Jesus, it would be the end of me. Here we go. There we go. I feel better now. Alrighty. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, there's another one here. You know what? I've got another tune here from the Tiki album. But by the way, those who wonder, the album is named after the Tiki recording studio here in San Jose, where we spent about 3 years working on that album. There was various things that kind of delayed us and set us back. You know, I had a bad back in late 2016. I had a bad car crash where the Lord miraculously spared us, even though the other driver died. And so I had a broken wrist for several months, and that put all the recording efforts on hold. And then the wonderful husband and wife couple who own and operate that studio, who are believers also, they had some serious health setbacks and stuff. And so there was all kinds of delays and hardships. They had a computer crash and lost a bunch of the mixes and data files. And basically we kept slogging along and persevered through. And actually by going back and redoing some mixes and some new software, we ended up with better mixes in the end. So it was a long drawn out process, and The album is named after that studio because was an awesome place. So anyway, all right, enough blathering. You want some more music?
You betcha.
Alrighty, we're gonna do. This is a very old gospel blues tune, originally done by Mississippi Fred McDowell, and it's called "You Got to Move."
Hmm,
Basically says when the Lord gets ready, you got to move.
that's a good song.
Yeah. You gotta move. You got to move. You got to move, child. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you know you gotta move. You may be high, you may be low, you may be rich, child, you may be poor. When the Lord gets ready, you know you gotta move. Here we go. There's Dennis Fleming on guitar there. Isn't that cool? You see that woman walking the street. See the policeman walking his beat. When the Lord gets ready, you know you gotta move. You gotta move. You got to move. You got to move, child. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you know you gotta move. Okay, now sing it real low. You gotta move. You got to move. You got to move, child. You know you got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you know you gotta move. Wow, 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 wow. You got to move. You got to move, child. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready. I said when the Lord gets ready. Oh, when the Lord gets ready. Wow, 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 wow. You know you got to. You know you got to. Got to try some tenderness. Oh, wait, that's the wrong song. You got to move. You got to move, brother.
Oh man.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Anybody received a blessing yet tonight?
Amen. All night long.
Lots of
Alrighty. Love it.
blessings.
Love
All
it.
night.
Love it. Alrighty. So I'm gonna switch guitars here. And let's see. Do that. Put that down. Pick this up. Alrighty, that sounds like a good tone right there. Alrighty, we'll do one of the old flagship songs from the all the way back. That dates back to the early days of Crimson Blues. It's one of the earliest songs we wrote, and it's kind of a good song to think about after a year like this because this song is about the sovereignty of God, that He's in charge of things. He's pulling the strings and He's calling the shots. He's deciding what happens. And you can be on one side of that sovereignty or the other. You can be on the side that says, oh, thank you. Yes, please. Please. Yeah. Sovereign is good. Keep being sovereign. Or, you could be on the other side where you say, oh, darn, I'm not sure I like the idea of that. Can we change the subject, please? Certain people don't like the idea that God's in charge. Kind of makes them a little nervous. But this song is, it's called The Hand of God. And there's one line towards the end that I really like, especially when you see some of the treachery and high power that happens all around the world. There's one line, I hope you'll notice it'll say, you're going to bend your knee to Him one day. Doesn't matter who you are. So here we go. Yeah, right there. And by the way, this recording includes your beloved down south, Brad Marsh. You'll hear his lead guitar on this song. Deeper than the sea, more than I can handle. It gets the best of me. Stronger than a freight train, wider than the sky. Greater love has no man than to lay down his life to die. It's the hand of God, the hand of God, the hand of God, yeah. It's the hand of God, the hand of God, the hand of God, yeah. All of my complaining, asking reasons why. His plan won't be changing, but I'm the apple of His eye. He remembers every tear that falls, and He can heal this heart of mine. Gonna be just fine. It's the hand of God, the hand of God, the hand of God, yeah. It's the hand of God, the hand of God, the hand of God. Look out! Shaking up the nations, shooting down the stars, taking down the big shots in their big black cars. You're gonna bend your knee to him one day, yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. That's right. It's the hand of God. The hand of God. The hand of God. Yeah. It's the hand of God. The hand of God. The hand of God. Yeah. It's the hand of God. The hand of God. Come on. There's Brad Marsh on guitar again. How about that? Boy, he's good. There's Rich Greenwood on harmonica. Yeah, it's the hand of God. It don't matter who you are.
That's one of my favorites, Mark. It's
Oh,
good.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
Mine too. I love playing it. I love hearing it. And I love how these talented bandmates helped me to make recordings of songs like that. I don't, I get to be like a broken record after a while, but I've got to tell you, the unbelievably talented people who have been part of the Crimson Blues Band, even even with the turnover of personnel, both old and new, it was an important bucket list thing in my life to be able to make a body of work musically that would have some eternal significance. And Christian blues turned out to be the way to do it. Where a niche where I kind of was able to get good at it, but I could never have, got this stuff in place without all these brothers that God put around me to support the whole thing. So I'm in enormous debt to them and for God for bringing them into my life. Big, big blessing. So should I stop blathering and play a song? All right. So, as some of you if some of you have been hearing some of the recent online performances that I've done, I've been kind of on a retro diversion lately. I'm working, as I mentioned, I've got two solo albums of my own, and I was just going to pick them up to show you, and they fell down the back. But, oh no, here's some. Here's a couple. There's the Blues Project is a solo album that's secular classic blues, and then Slide Ahead is Christian blues. But I've got a third solo album that I want to develop, and kind of complete that as part of my life's work bucket list. And I'm working on a project called Retro, and what would be is a collection of all the earlier material that were influences that shaped, me, to where I've ended up today. And that would include old classic retro gospel blues from back in the day, which was a very important influence on my life. And but it would also include a lot of the Christian worship acoustic music that I wrote back in my college days. That was before I even knew what blues was about, so I didn't know anything about blues. I didn't have any band to play with. I didn't have the money to get electrical equipment, and I didn't have the money to get recording gear. And so back then, I was very limited what I could do. And all I could really do was just acoustic stuff And but some of those songs were important songs, were part of my formative years, and a lot of those I want to include on this retro album that I'm working on, because all the kind of recordings that I wanted for those songs that I heard in my head, I never had the equipment to or the means to do it. Now I do. So I'm kind of capturing that early part of my life musically, to have sort of a record of what it was. And the other thing too is I started songwriting in high school, and part of how you learn to be a good songwriter is to first write lots and lots of terrible songs, really bad songs that are embarrassing, and you hope no one ever hears them, you know. But when I got to my college years, I began to start. Part of what happens is you just write lots and lots of really bad songs, and over time, gradually, good songs worth keeping begin to emerge. Little by little, they start to peek out and show themselves. And so some of these songs on this retro album, these are the tunes that I kind of felt was worth keeping eventually. And I want to share one of them with you tonight. This was a song where I was way back in my college days. I was trying to sort of model the acoustic 12-string style that Greg Lake did when he did acoustic numbers for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And obviously I was never as good as him, but this was my humble attempt to try to capture that feeling. And this is a song about God's grace, really. It's worded in kind of a different way, though. It's basically one of the big things to me in those early days was that I had tried so hard to make myself be the kind of good person or Christian that I should have been, and I never could. I always failed, always was backslidden, until I discovered that it's God's undeserved grace that does that for us. We never can do it ourselves. We're saved by grace through faith and not of works. It's the gift of God. And so I came to the big epiphany for me was when I understood that, you know what, you go to God for the help and you let him make the change in you. You can't do it yourself. And so that's kind of what this song is alluding to. The song is called Try Something Strange. I hope it's a blessing to you.
Come on, brother.
Have you found answers to the questions that you ask? What are you living for this time? Is it something that will last? Now, do you feel frustrated by the things you try to change? You might try something that may seem rather strange. Just talk to my friend Jesus. Talk to my friend. Can you change your own life? Or do you find it hard to cover up the past? What are you living for this time? Is it something that will last? Now, do you feel defeated by the things that never change? Before you give up, just try something strange. Just talk to my friend Jesus. Talk to my friend.
Well, thank you, brother. That was heavenly, brother.
I sure hope so. So, alrighty. So, one last little tune here. Yeah. I'm going to do one more tune from the Tiki album. This is actually one of the it's one of a collection of songs that we actually recorded long ago back in 2013. We took a weekend and converted our church sanctuary into a makeshift recording studio. And we recorded with double drums and all that stuff. And one of these, at least one of those, 5 of those songs turned out good, and one of them got on the Tiki album. And a few more songs will hopefully be on the next album. But this album here is basically says that, no matter how tough things are right now, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Anyone agree?
Amen.
Amen. All right. And
That's
it's called little mellow Chicago blues singing. It's called Further On Down the Road. And it goes something like this.
No.
Goes exactly like this.
Actually, you're right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And somebody's gonna dance for me while I do the song. Why don't you turn the camera around here? By the way, that's Brad Marsh doing a guitar solo there, real pretty.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Far on down the road, all the tears will be gone away. Far on down the road, all the tears will be gone away. Gonna see the face of Jesus in the night time and the day. Far on down the road, all the tears will be gone away. Far on down the road, all the tears will be gone away. Gonna see the face of Jesus in the night time and the day. All the pain and the sorrow gonna wash away like rain. All the pain and the sorrow gonna wash away like rain. Yeah, there'll be no more suffering. Finally free from all our sin. 2, 3, 4. Anybody out there looking forward to further on down the road?
Yes, sir. Woo!
Yes, indeed. Now check it out. Listen here. There's Rich Greenwood blowing some harmonica. Someday people will finally be set free. Someday people gonna finally be set free. Gonna have a celebration that's including you and me, and you are invited. Every one of you, you're invited to attend the wedding feast.
Amen.
Next verse, just sing back the same thing that I sing. Just sort of echo it back to me, okay? Here we go. Further on down the road. 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 Yeah, we're gonna lose that heavy load just a little further down the road. Now listen here. Further on down the road, we're gonna sing that amazing grace. Further on down the road, we're gonna sing that amazing grace. Gonna see my precious Jesus. Gonna see him face to face. Come on, yeah. Hey. Bow, 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 bow. We go further on down the road. Further on down the road. Sing it with me, it's easy. Further on down the road. Further on down the road. Yeah, we'll lose that heavy load. Just a little further down the road. Okay, last round. Come on, really sing it this time. Further on down the road. 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 Yeah, we're gonna lose that heavy load. Just a little further down the road. And with that, Happy New Year and God bless 2021 for every one of you out there. Truly.
Oh man, we're gonna have to have you back sometime further down the road.